I'm Gwen Preston of Resource Maven. We're here at the Metals Investor Forum in Vancouver in January, and I'm joined by Chris Taylor, who's the man of the hour, has been sort of for a little while now, of Great Bear Resources. That's, of course, the reason for the attention. Great Bear put out phenomenal drill results 3 days ago. I know you were messing around with your board and you forwarded them the email saying, oh, we only got 1.6. It was 1.6 kilograms of gold, not kilograms. Incredible drill intercept. What I want to talk about is what got you there, because from what I understand, really it's the refinement of the geologic model that brought you to that exact point. So let's talk about how your geologic model has changed and why it matters so much given where you are in Red Lake.
Okay, no problem. So what really got us there in a few words is really the good people that we have in the company, right? So they're excellent geologists, Bob and Crystal and Rick.
I never even see Bob because he never...
Well, he doesn't actually exist.
He doesn't actually exist, that's why.
Yeah. I have photographs. He's a real person and we have him on the webinar. If anybody wants to see it, we're posting that webinar to our website. So with redoing all the historical data on the project, resurveying holes, it became obvious to us that in order to understand Dixie, you really had to think big picture, right? So we started looking at what are the main controls on the main deposits in the district, and that's like the big scale folding, right? These big D2 folds, big deep-seated crustal structures. So we started modeling everything along those lines and thinking about where we might get a lot more gold. So it's refining the model with the big picture in mind, with the parallels like the main Red Lake gold mine. I know everybody says they have the next Red Lake gold mine, but if you look at the distribution of geology and mineralized zones and everything else, it really does look like there are strong similarities. So it's thinking along those lines that led us to some of these recent discoveries.
Because I know a year ago, it was only about a year ago that this was really getting going. And the thinking there was similar, but it was less informed because obviously you've done a lot of work in the meantime. I mean, the hinge zone was at a mapped hinge in stratigraphy, but it wasn't D2 folding and things of that nature. So that refinement is clearly paying off.
That's correct, and really it is those parallels. So we definitely see the potential for a very significant gold system on our project. So we have the money, fortunately, to show whether that's the case or not without going back to the market for a long time.
Which is great. So you've got this model. This model led you to step out a bit from zones that you're already at, have some really phenomenal results. Talk to me about the bigger picture of this model, which is, I mean, we've known for a year that it looks like there's some good upside along strike and whatnot from the zones that you have, but this model is really reinforcing that idea.
Yeah, we were able to hit that 50 odd ounce material within 14 meters of where it was predicted to be, so we're getting very accurate with it as well. The reason is that it's a very robust gold system that we're drilling, so effectively there's a big structural feature with an ultramafic in it, which is at the axis of that big fold. It's intruded by other dikes or by dikes as well, and the gold brackets it on each side, much like you see in the pattern at the high grade zone in the main Red Lake gold mine. There you have a big fold, gold on one side, gold on the other side, and gold concentrated in the hinge. So the same pattern here, but that projection, that hinge extends for over 10 kilometers. And so everywhere that it hits a geological contact or another contrast in the geology that's another potential target for us to sort of repeat what we're doing right now. So that means there's that fold hinge, there's another fold hinge just to the north of it, and there's other fold hinges that project further to the north as well. So there's multiple kind of multi-kilometer targets in the few kilometers to 10 kilometer strike length range each. So a lot of the drilling that we do will fill in the area that we've already got, but drilling will also step out and test all those other targets as well.
So then what other tools do you use to figure out to target along multi-kilometer trends there?
Well, this we spoke to a little bit on the webinar. So we think that the contrasts in geology are really important along those structural trends. So that's what we're looking at now is certain rock units and where the rock units change between units. And those along strike should be excellent exploratory drill targets.
And of course, at the same time, you're going to keep expanding Dixie and Hinge and South Limb, which are all fairly proximal to each other.
They are, yeah.
Are you focused at all on defining a resource at this point? Or I don't necessarily think you want to wrap numbers around this anytime soon because, it's really new and exciting and growing really rapidly. But I'm just curious what your take is on that. I'm sure people want a number?
Well, you see, we are doing more or less definition style drilling on it right now,
Sure.
in addition to step outs along strike and at depth. So it's we're covering all of our bases all at once. I'm sure that'll come in the future when we're ready for that to come in the future.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's a good way of just stepping around that completely.
That's right.
Avoid.
Exactly. I think a lot of juniors make the mistake of going too early to market with the reason.
For
We
sure.
see it again and again and again. The worst thing that you can do for your shareholders, and that's all we really care about, is shareholder value. I'm a big shareholder. We know lots of big shareholders. We want the shareholders to make money, and the way that they do that is not repeating the mistake, which is going off half-cocked, coming out with, hypothetically speaking, if a company's sitting on a 5 million ounce or a 10 million ounce resource, and they put out the first 1 million ounces of it, where does the market value that company?
Right, at 1 million ounces or less.
Exactly. Whereas really, what is the value that their shareholders should expect? So we're in the same ballpark, or the same boat as that.
Absolutely.
We definitely will come out when we're ready.
Well, it's a good boat to be in, I would say, sitting on who knows how much gold and just trying to figure out how much there is there. So thanks for the update, and look forward to the next news.
Thanks, Gwen. We'll
All right.
keep you posted.
Thanks.